In Chapter 9, our goal is going to be to study market structure and imperfect competition in selling. So if you'll notice, some market structure characteristics, number of firms, product differentiation, and that big word differentiation means that the product could be different from the other products, or it might not be, barriers to entry or exit. And if you look at the picture there, there's two different markets that they're talking about. Number 2, yellow corn, or farm equipment. And we'll learn where each of those different markets falls under. So for all of our supply and demand graphs, we've been assuming perfect competition. So we've been assuming that there's a large number of firms, that the product is what we call homogeneous, and that means that it's the same all the way across the board. So there's no real difference in the product. There's no barriers to entry or exit, so there's no patents that are in this market that will cause somebody to not be able to enter into the market. And we're also assuming something called perfect knowledge, which means that we're able to get all the information that we want. So if you look, for our perfect competition, we have our regular supply and demand graph, prices set where supply equals demand, or where the two intersect. And we call, in this perfect competition, we call the firms a price taker. And what that means is that price is going to be set here in the market. And then from there, if you see where the line is going on your notes, this is where we would choose to produce. This would be our marginal revenue line, and we know from our output decision rule that we're going to produce where marginal cost crosses marginal revenue. That would be our maximum output level. So we call it a price taker because we're not going to set this marginal revenue price. Instead, we're going to let the market set it here, and we're just going to take it and decide to produce where the two intersect. If demand increases, we have a new intersection point. We have a new price. And we would have a new output over in your output decision graph. So this would be a new marginal revenue. And you can see the vice versa, if demand decreases on your notes, that we would produce less. We would choose to produce less. In the input market, it's the same way. The firm is also a price taker. So now I have our input graph on here, our marginal value product. We're going to set price and quantity where supply equals demand. And that price is going to be the same over in the input side. And so we would choose where marginal input cost crosses marginal value product, and that would be our input decision. So we have no control over the markets and over the price. We're going to take whatever is set in the market, and we're going to roll with it. And again, you can watch and see if demand increases. We have a new price, and we'll have a new marginal input cost, and we will decrease the amount of inputs that we use because the price has gone up.